You're watching SportsBeat.
Thanks for watching SportsBeat on this Saturday. Jeremiah Jensen, Sam Farnsworth. We have a great half hour ahead. Tony Finau, Mark Harlan, and Kyle Whittingham are guests on the show today.
It's a loaded broadcast for sure. But first, is there such a thing as too much homework? I'm sure our kids would argue that there is for sure.
Yeah.
But for the Utah Jazz, they're still doing lots of it, preparing for the NBA draft on June 20th.
That work continued. The Jazz hosted 2 sessions Saturday at Zions Bank Basketball Campus. The second session featured 3 guys who are first-round or early second-round prospects. Point guard Jordan Bone out of Tennessee, 6'11" big man Daniel Gafford of Arkansas, and this player, 6'10" Croatian big man Luka Samanic.
This year, I think we've been able to, at the point where we are in the draft 23, we've gotten in on, I think, a lot of players in our area. Still struggling, trying to get guys who may be considered above us.
It was intense, it was very competitive, but I was so excited to come here. Great guys here, great players, so I had to, bring the best of me, and, it was really good.
And I think we've also brought in some guys that, especially early, and then now with the double workout, guys we're looking at maybe 53.
They also have the 53rd pick in the second round. Right, this draft marks the 5th time in franchise history that the Utah Jazz have had that 23rd pick.
Lucky number 23. Well, we thought it would be fun to take a look back at the previous 4 picks the Jazz made at number 23 in years past. And of course, the Jazz, you might remember this, when they hit a home run with that pick in 2014, they got Rodney Hood out of Duke. While things didn't work out in Utah so much, he was sent off to Cleveland in that Dre Crowder trade. Hood has far exceeded the expectations of a 23rd pick. Players of note taken after Rodney in 2014. How about this? Clint Capella, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Joe Harris, Spencer Dinwiddie, and how about this big man, I don't know, guy out in Denver named Nikola Jokic?
Never heard of him. That's pretty cool. An all-star in the second round. Right? The Jazz selected Kosta Koufos at number 23 in the 2008 draft. You can see how well that went back then. We're just going to skip to Deshaun Stevenson after Kosta Koufos. Deshaun was in 2000. Of course, taken straight out of high school. Deshaun played 3.5 seasons with the Jazz before being traded to Orlando for Gordon Giricek. Still not sure about that trade. He ended up playing 13 years in the NBA with 6 different teams and won a title with the Dallas Mavericks in 2011.
All right, well, we all remember Tico Brown back in 1979, right? I was 1 year old. Actually, Tico never played a minute with the Jazz or in the NBA. He did play 8 seasons in the CBA, though, for the Anchorage Northern Knights, Detroit Spirits, and Savannah Spirits. He led the league in scoring in 2 seasons, 1984 and 87, and he actually finished as the league's all-time leading scorer. Not a bad pro career there.
I just love the fact that we found Tico Brown video.
That's amazing.
It really is.
Our archives run deep.
More impressive than his CBA career.
Yeah, all right, let's hit the golf course now. The U.S. Open begins Thursday at Pebble Beach. Tony Finau still seeking that first major victory of his career.
Yeah, and before he left for Pebble Beach, I had a chance to sit down with Tony, look ahead to the Open, look back on his impressive performance at the Masters, his involvement with the Utah Championship here in Utah, and giving back to young golfers in the state.
When I think of Web.com Tour, I think of the grind. And you went through that grind. What did that grind teach you, and what did that do for you to propel you to where you are now, where you can compete at the highest level?
Yeah, the Web.com was huge for me. Teaching me how to travel, outside of playing. A lot of what we do is a mind game. Not only playing, in between shots, what are we thinking? When we travel, what are we thinking? There's a lot of things that go into it. So that was a huge part. And then learning how to win and compete at a high level. I had that confidence coming off the web and knew that if I can win on the web, why can't I win the PGA Tour? So those are some of the things that I learned on the Web.com Tour, and it's truly the best path to the PGA Tour.
With your foundation, I know it was a great moment for you to receive that $40,000 check. How important is it for you now that you've made it at the highest level to be able to give back and to be able to help grow the game of golf here in the state of Utah?
Yeah, it's a huge part, and it's a huge part of who I am. I feel like I've come from humble beginnings. It'd be very selfish for me to gain some of the accolades that I have and not give back. I feel very strongly about that. About my community I've grown up in Rose Park, as well as just everywhere here in Utah. I feel like through the game of golf, I've learned a lot of great things, and I've met a lot of great people. This game has so much to offer, and I would have never known that if I wasn't involved in the game. But to be able to give back now through this Utah Championship, alongside with Utah Sports Commission, is something that's very cool for our foundation.
You're having a great year, top 15 in the FedEx Cup standings. We all saw what happened at the Masters.
Yeah.
What was that experience like at Augusta, playing a final round with Tiger Woods, shaking his hand at 18? Was it surreal for you? What was that like?
Yeah, it was really cool. You know, I think I look at it a little bit different than most guys. When I think about the Masters, I thought I had a great chance to win, you know, and that's how I look at it. But outside of that, it was very special to be able to play alongside Tiger and watch him make history. I think it's something that our game needs Tiger, and you know, to continue to grow. He brings something to the table that even none of us younger guys can bring. There's an excitement about Tiger and what he does, and just the aura of him that brings so much excitement to the game. So that was really cool to be a part of that. You know, I came up short. You know, in my first, I think, true attempt to win my first green jacket. But we'll get after it next year.
We're glued to the TV every time you play. I mean, can you sense the support here in Utah and the excitement that people have to see you make it at that level?
Yeah, you know, I hear it quite often. It seems like there's a lot of people from Utah out on the road that come out and support and watch, and that's really cool for me. I think Utah's one great big family, and I definitely feel the support of my fellow Utahns and native Utahns. So it's something that's very special, and I'm grateful for the support. It's really humbling.
You've had all the success, and people are going to ask you, why can't you do more? They want more from you. How difficult is it as a player to be patient and to take time and go through, you know, not skip steps to try to get to that point where you are winning those tournaments?
It's extremely tough, you know, to be patient. And I'm at a time now where, you know, for me, you know, I'm chasing that next victory. I'm chasing that second win on tour, and after the second, I'll be chasing the third and the fourth. But, you know, I've learned, and, you know, a lot of people are quoted, it's all about the journey, you know, and I'm enjoying, I always feel grateful to be able to do what I do for a living. I've come from very little and just a lot different background than most of these guys that are playing on the PGA Tour. You know, and it's not that I look for petty or anything like that. It's just true that I truly have come from different circumstances than some of those guys, and it's something that's very cool for me to be able to play at the highest level and compete on a weekend basis against the best players in the world.
It's so fun to watch your journey, Tony. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jaron.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great to catch up with you.
Thanks.
Now to Major League Baseball, the Indians beat the Yankees 8-4, thanks in part to this play. Right fielder Jordan Luplow makes an incredible catch against the wall to rob Brett Gardner. Everyone enjoyed that web gem except for Gardner, who took out his frustration on his helmet, and you know what? The helmet fought back.
Well, you know, it's always nice to have some backup on the diamond, and Brian Anderson, well, he's got it. A little bobble there, but Miguel Rojas is there to make the play. We're able to tag the runner out at third, and, well, the Braves got the win anyway, 1-0.
They listen to their Little League coaches. Another web gem, this one from Orioles outfielder Anthony Santander. You think it's a home run? Oh, no, it isn't. Makes a leaping catch, robbing the Astros' Yuli Gurriel. Then Santander doubles up Michael Brantley at first for the double play. The Orioles get a rare win over the Astros in Houston.
It's awesome to be in this position, and it's awesome to have our young people, you know, get excited about this.
Up next, Utah Athletics Director Mark Harlan joins us in studio to look back on his first year as AD and what is being done to fix what ails the Pac-12.
Year one is in the books for Utah Athletics Director Mark Harlan. It was quite a year of highs and lows, a year of tragedy and triumph. What stands out to you most about this first year at the University of Utah?
Well, I think it comes down to the people, the incredible people that I've had a chance to meet. Starts with our student athletes and our staff and our coaches. Just an incredible group of people all pulling for the same goal and working together. And of course also our fans and our donors. You know, there's a lot said about University of Utah coming in here about the incredible support, but it's been absolutely overwhelming and particularly memorable as I look back on the year.
One of the things that stood out about this year in my mind was the long-awaited Pac-12 South title for the football program. You have to be happy with where the football program was. You gave Kyle Whittingham an extension. Why did you decide to give him that extension, and what motivated you to do that?
Well, I think for me it was really just starting to sit down and work with him. And you know, they always talk about the system that he has at the University of Utah, but I needed to get in that system and learn about all the things that he was doing. And all that I learned was that he's such a special, unique coach and perfect for the University of Utah and the way he molds young men. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. Obviously the on-field success, but more importantly is the, incredible graduation rates of that program. The GPAs are up. Every single metric that you look at is up, so why wait?
And this year, the expectations are even higher. And
That's right.
It's not often that the Utah football program in the Pac-12 has a target on their back as a team to beat, but that's the case. Are you excited to see how they respond to that?
Well, you bet I'm excited. And I know Whit would say it's day by day. We ignore that stuff. It's win the day, and that's the way it should be. But it's awesome to be in this position, and it's awesome to have our young people, get excited about this. And our fans are excited, 98% renewal rate for football. So it's a new place for us, but it's a place I think we're going to get accustomed to.
A lot of football fans curious about football scheduling. I think a lot of fans would like to see a bigger name in the non-conference. What's your philosophy on that?
Well, the first thing I'll say is the football schedule is set for years to come. It's part of what it goes. But we're looking at blending in more Power Fives in future scheduling patterns down the way. Certainly we have the rivalry with BYU. Tom, Holmo, and I have talked that if it makes sense to take a year or two off, we could, or we can maybe fit it in at the same year. It's things that we're looking at now. Certainly the Michigan model of a few years back worked really, really well. But what we do know is we want to schedule to get to the Final Four. That's our destination that we're always going to shoot for, and we're going to be very strategic as we do so.
Excellent. The state of the basketball program. I know the last 3 years they haven't made the NCAA tournament, and you know the standard here.
Sure.
It's pretty high.
Absolutely.
What's your evaluation of the program where it stands right now, where it needs to go in the future?
Well, I think that we all want to be in the postseason, not just for basketball, for all our teams. That's the expectations at the University of Utah. I think what I saw this year was Larry molding a young team that needed to come together. Picked well low in the league, finished in the top 3 of the league, got the bye, didn't play the way we wanted to in Vegas. I was hoping we could make a run there. Didn't happen, but we got better as the year went on, and I think that's what's really important. We want to be in the tournament. Larry wants to be in the tournament. We're going to continue to do all those things to make that happen administratively, working with him. We've had some key additions to the staff, obviously. We're excited about what he's done there, but we're going to continue to work together to get the Utes where we want them to be.
And next year got more challenging because Donnie Tillman's taking a leave of absence. I'm sure you perhaps maybe were surprised about this news. He just decided he was coming back.
Well, Donnie's a great young man. We're blessed to have 550 student athletes competing at the U in 20 sports, and so always things are going to come up. And Donnie came forward, and obviously we know he's been managing the health of his mother for quite some time. And he just felt like it was time to be closer, and so we respect his decision. We'll miss him. He was a really fun guy to be around. Obviously, you don't run from the fact that you'll miss him. I think there's some depth now going forward on the team and some of the new guys we got coming in, so we'll move forward. He'll move forward, but we really wish him all the best.
Moving on to the Pac-12, I know there's been a lot of stories and a lot of focus on the current state of the Pac-12, where it stands with the other Power Fives. And of course, it's always keeping up with the Joneses, as you know.
That's right.
That's a great responsibility that you have to do that. Where do you see the Pac-12 right now? Where does it need to go to get better?
Well, it's been a year of being in the news for the wrong reasons. I don't think I should run from that, nor does Commissioner Scott or frankly any of the other athletic directors. But when something like this happens or events like these happen, all you can do is come together, confront it, and deal with it. And I think what we've seen since the October officiating embarrassment, for example, we've been able to meet since then and really work on change. What's been really good out of all of this is Larry has really created a more inclusive environment that involves all the athletic directors and the presidents and chancellors, I believe, working at a level that we never have before. So we're going to confront the things that are ahead of us. Key to that is we got to get better in football as a conference. Yeah. Everybody has to own that. We have to get better in men's basketball. Everybody owns that. We made some changes in our scheduling philosophies in basketball, I think, to help with that, adding 2 more league games that I think will help. So we all have to own it ourselves rather than blaming. I think that's very important. And then big decisions ahead about television and those kind of things. These are 12 of the best universities in the country. We just have to collectively continue to come together more and get after it.
It sounds like you mentioned not running from these things. I mean, has the athletic directors, presidents felt the need to really hit these issues hard?
Absolutely. I mean, we've had some meetings that have, been pretty candid about different things that we all can do better. No one's holding back. And I think that's helpful. Out of conflict, out of those kind of conversations, I think comes really good results. So again, we're going to work together. Commissioner Scott has really looked at things he's done in the past and things he needs to do now. We're working together collectively. And, you know, listen, sometimes competitive nature things are cyclical. I think we've kind of been on a bad cycle of it. I think it's our turn now to get back at it.
Well, it's certainly been a great time for Utah football, and things are looking up, and now you look at the stadium expansion. You have to be so excited about this. I know when you came in, you knew this was something that was important, but you didn't have a chance to really dig into it. Now you have. How excited are you to see this thing roll forward?
Well, very excited. You know, Dr. Hill, my predecessor, did such a phenomenal job on this feasibility study. Kyle Brennan, the deputy athletic director as well. They handed it to me when I got here, and I just went through it. I had a lot of questions for Chris and then others as we went through the process. And it was so clear it was time to go, right? We just had to make sure that the financial model was solid and that there were donors to support it. And the Garf family came forward with a monumental transformational gift for us along with others. So where we are right now is we're right on schedule. We have our contractor on board. We have our design team on board. We just visited a bunch of institutions. We're going to visit more shortly. And we're going to come out with something I think everyone's going to be really, really excited about it. And it'll be ready to go for the 21 season.
How much does that benefit your program, and also how much can it benefit the community when this is done?
Well, I think the program will be profound in that we're going to completely gut and fix the whole operational center. You know, the Clark building had run out of time. That's the best way I can say it. And so we're going to have a nice locker room, training facility, press room.
Thank you.
The visiting locker room will be fine. It won't be anything that needs more to be. You know, it'll be fine. So that's going to be great for us for recruiting and for game day operations. And then to create all of this club space and premium seating, and then to also have chair backs. We're going to add an additional 1,000 that we already had in the south end zone, taking us to about 51,444 if you're counting. It's going to be great. And then that space can be rented during the week through our friends that run the stadium and auxiliary services and others. So everybody benefits, but it certainly will lift our football program. And when you lift the football program, you lift the whole department.
And let's be honest, no one's going to miss the current south end zone facility.
We're just going to get through the next few years. You know, we'll duct tape. We'll get there.
Well, it's so exciting. So many exciting things. Year one in the books. It's great to look back on it, Mark. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. And good luck next season.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, great stuff, Jeremiah. Up next, Tom Hackett hits the links with Kyle Whittingham on the latest edition of The Hallowed Ground.
Just 81 days until BYU and Utah open the 2019 college football season, which means Kyle Whittingham is running out of time to work on his golf game.
Got to get those cuts in, and who better than to give him a quick on-course tune-up than our very own and the Utes' very own, Tom Hackett, in this edition of The Hallowed Grounds.
The Hallowed Grounds, brought to you by Siegfried and Jensen.
Welcome into this week's episode of The Hallowed Grounds. Coach Kyle Whittingham is joining me. You guys know the drill. He doesn't. Winner of this hole gets their choice of a $100 gift card, or take me on in closest to the pin for the Bushnell range. Find a valued at $500. He needs one. Now. He needs one.
I'll take
Play
that
some
now.
golf. You cleared that trap.
Yeah. Tell me something I don't know. I don't know about that hat.
You like it?
No.
Have you ever seen the show Peaky Blinders on Netflix?
Never. That'll work, Tommy. You've been working on your game.
You like that?
You've been working on your game. Yeah, I do. We're moving that out.
Why?
Because it's no fair.
How long have you been coaching at Utah?
Oh, geez, 26 years.
Wow. So now's probably not a good time to tell you I just turned 27, right?
You did.
I know.
Congrats.
Thank you. Congrats on 26 years at Utah.
How's the dad bod going?
Does it feel like 26 years?
Not at all.
Really? Like, have expectations been this high since you've been there? I haven't been around
I
nearly
can't
as
recall.
long.
Definitely not since we joined the Pac-12.
Certainly not.
Yeah. What do you got in your hand? 56?
I got a pitching wedge.
That's right. You're not very strong, are you?
No, I'm not strong, but I'm going to bump and run it.
Okay.
Coach, you've been working out a bit too much.
See, I got to warm up on the range.
It's the biceps that you have on your arms.
The bicep. Oh, that's a gimme.
That's a gimme, okay.
Good par.
I think I won.
Well, you won that hole, yeah.
So here's the problem that you
Just
have.
came right out of a staff meeting, try to run down here and play him. Don't expect too much.
The Bushnell's no longer up for grabs. That's the problem.
Why? Let's go play that hole.
Go replay the hole?
That was the warm-up hole.
Like if you benched now, how much could you put up?
I have no idea.
You do. You know
I have
exactly
no
how
idea.
much you could put up. Flying through his teeth.
That's going to be pretty good, Tommy. It's got to go. I think it's in the trap. So I didn't win squat.
Well, unfortunately, things didn't work out for Coach today. He's in the sand on the par 3. I'm only going to 1. I really wanted that Bush find. It's just not going to happen. Thanks for coming out, Coach.
You bet.
Yeah.
Sorry it was so disappointing.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I got to keep my rangefinder.